Hello everyone, my name is Kate Marshall. The name of my channel is called Inked Paper Art, and today's video is day 86 of 365 days of junk journal ideas. And today we are going to be altering layaway tickets. These are very large tags. They are perforated into 3 different sections, and we are going to be altering them today and just kind of decorating them. You could alter them and take off a section and make a pocket and all that kind of stuff. We're really just decorating these up to use them today, and then we're going to reinforce the perforations. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be using the very large page of mushrooms. There's actually 3 mushrooms. It goes like this. There's 3 mushrooms on one page. They are very large. They're meant for tags. You don't have to cut them into, like, you don't have to fussy cut them. You could just make them into tags by printing them on cardstock and putting a whole reinforcer at the top. These mushrooms are available in my Etsy store, but today we are going to be decorating these large layaway tickets with them. And so I've fussy cut 2 of them already, and I saved 1 to do on camera because some people look at something like this, and even though it has little delicate bits and there's several little mushrooms coming up, and they think that's too hard to fussy cut. I have a whole video. It's one of the days of the 385-day videos that come out in the morning, and it's fussy cut tricks, tips, and hacks. If you struggle with fussy cutting, which some of you guys are experts and some of you guys hate it, so just, if you struggle with fussy cutting, or if you're looking for alternatives, it's something that's good for everyone to watch, even people who love fussy cutting and think they know all the hacks. Watch that video. So we're just going to cut one out quickly. And so when I do fussy cutting, first of all, I like to basically cut out the image so that I don't have too much paper off to one side. I like to start, wherever my eye says is going to be the easiest, and you just wiggle your scissors around, and notice how I'm like editing as I'm going. If something is sticking out too far and it's not really needed for the design, I just snip it off. It doesn't, just because it's there doesn't mean you have to fussy cut around it. And so I like to wiggle my scissors and my paper and get around the little bits. And so you'll notice I'm kind of fussy cutting around this little fern that's coming up here next to the stalk of the mushroom. But that's really all I was fussy cutting around. And then when we get up here to the mushroom itself, that's where I'm cutting directly on the line and going around it as close as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to ink around these, so any little bit of white that is left you are not going to notice. And so up here, you're just going around the line as close as you can, getting underneath now and back around. And again, if you leave a little bit of white, that's fine. Some people like to fussy cut where they leave a deliberate white line around everything. There's different ways of doing the fussy cutting. There's not a right way or a wrong way. You just do whatever makes you happy, right? And so as I go around here, you're going to see how I just kind of keep going, keep going. Now I've got this big piece of paper dangling off and it's getting in my way. So at that point, I just start again. Snip off the excess and start again. Too much paper gets in your way and it makes it harder than it needs to be. So I'm going up and around, getting in here, getting that guy. Now you got this little tiny bit of fern here. If you want to keep it, then just fussy cut around it. You're not going to cut each individual little bit of the fern leaf off. It's fine. You're just going to go right around the little fern if you want to keep it. Now for me, I don't think it needs to be there. I just cut it off. And you'll notice on this edge over here, the easiest thing to do is to try to get your scissors in where there is some white and then call it good. So it does not have to be perfect. No, there is zero. Nobody's fussy cutting is 100% perfect on the line around every little bit. You'll notice that there is a lot of white in here. I'm going to ink this and it's kind of going to disappear once it's on there. So we're not going to stress about it, but that's the fussy cut image. And that was pretty quick, right? But trust me when I say nobody's fussy cutting is 100% perfect, straight, nothing. Inking and putting it on something else, nobody looks and, oh, this is a little, nobody does that. So just get over it and do it. It's all good. So let's go ahead and ink these guys up before we start with them. I have inked some of the tags and we will ink another tag that's on the top here. So we're going to make 3 of these tags today. These tags could actually be used as tucks or pockets. as you put them on. So take your ink little dauber around and ink whatever you want to ink. If there is something that looks like it's got a little bit too much white, you can get your dauber in there. You could use a finger dauber to get in there and ink. You could use one of those markers that's in that oh my gosh, the tricks, tips, and hacks video. I show you a marker that you can use that is really great to go around and cover up all the little white bits or whatever, you know, that you don't feel like inking around. So I've kind of inked a lot of this. Anything that is in here that is white, the easiest thing to do is to take your dauber and just kind of knock back some of that white just to kind of help it blend in. And you notice I did that part last so that it wasn't too much ink on my dauber when I tried to do that. Okay, so I'm pretty good with that one there. And we've got a couple more here where, you know, we're just going to get rid of whatever little white line. I cannot talk today. Whatever little white line, it's being tired, it's still there. And so just get what you can get. And it's okay if there's a little bit of that too, because again, even though these are focal points, nobody's going to study them. And if they did, then, you know, they probably have other things to worry about as well. So let's just go ahead and ink this side right there. And I think we're pretty good. We got a little bit here and a little bit in the middle of those mushrooms. And I think I'm good with that one. And then we've got this guy. There are stickers. If you're not into fussy cutting at all, there's stickers that you could use. All different kinds of things. You could print these mushrooms onto sticker paper and then do a little tiny bit of editing in like a Cricut software or something like that. And then you could have it cut it out for you so that you didn't even have to cut it. And some of these little stalks and things like that, it's easier to ink them laying down flat like this, less likely that you're going to rip off something fragile. You can see on this one particular, I kept quite a bit of the little greenery and ferns and stuff off to the side. And so just going to blend in that white a little bit, get around the edge, and we're good. And so for this one, I kept this little bit here. You can see there's a little bit of white showing there. We just knock it back and it's all good. So let's move on. I have one tag that needs inked and we're done. We're done with inking and cutting and we get to decorate. So these are manila in color. You can coffee dye them if you want to. I usually have some coffee dyed, but I couldn't find them for this video. So, and I know these came in your kits if you got the kits. So they're in there already. And then for the string part, you can take this string off and replace it with whatever you want to use, or just go ahead and run your, you know, little inking thing over it a couple times, and that's enough to knock back the white that's on there. We're going to call that guy good, and let's move on to some gluing. I do want to get these on here, but if you look at them, you know, this pattern that's on this layaway tag, it almost acts like a book page. It's give you a lot of, you know, information, background, texture, print, whatever you want to call it back there. So we don't necessarily have to add book page behind it. If you want to, go ahead and do it. I'm going to add just a little bit of something here at the bottom coming at an angle. And the reason is I don't want my mushrooms all the way to the bottom. I want to leave them up just a little bit. So I'm going to put a little book page through there. Now, the more you add and glue to this, the sturdier these perforation bits are going to be. If we need to reinforce them at the end, which I think we will, at least some of them, then we will do that. So let's go ahead and grab some book page quick. I've got a little of this. This will be perfect. And so I'm just going to take this. Can ink that right there. That's fine. And we're going to glue that on. And then we'll move on to put that mushroom down. So you didn't have to do it because there is enough texture back there. And you can see I'm going to have some overhang and cut it off. That's just the way I like to do it. You don't have to do that part either. And so right here at the bottom, we're going to leave this all overhang and line it up. And there we go. And that's all that little bit that I needed there. And so then I'm just going to cut off this excess. And then we're going to put our mushroom on. Now for the mushroom, I do think it's best to go ahead and use your glue stick for that. So let's go ahead and take this guy, get the glue stick. So for the tall, stocky things, whether it be flowers or people with their heads at the top, you want to make sure that you're only gluing with your glue stick in one direction. So you'll notice when I go through here, I stop at any part that's giving me resistance and only go in one direction. Don't go like this because you'll crumple it and more than likely tear it off. Most of that is common sense, but you know, people are at all different levels of skill in here, and sometimes we're just in such a hurry to make something that we kind of forget, you know, some little things about that. So I'm going to leave my mushrooms up just a little bit from the bottom. I want to see this book page peek over this corner here, just positioning it so it's centered down here. And then again, when you glue in one direction, you also want to press down and secure it in one direction so that it doesn't fold up on itself. And so there's that one. And we'll add some more detail down here at the bottom in just a minute. Let's go ahead and grab another bit of this. This mushroom has a whole big bunch going on down at the bottom, but I think we can get some book page behind this one. So let me tear it like this. And I will give this just an ink right here on the edge. Not that you'll see it, and then we'll glue that. And sometimes when I get a little bit too much glue there, I'll flip it over. And let's glue. I think we're going, I don't know which way we're going. Let's find that out. We could go here and put this guy like that. Yes. Okay. There we go. I hope you guys are all having a good day. This is the second video that will air today. There was another one that aired just a little bit ago, trying to get at least partially caught up on videos. I gave an update in the last video of, you know, kind of where I was at and what's going on and all that kind of stuff. You guys have already left me lovely comments of support, and I appreciate that very much. And so let's get this mushroom on. And so there will not be a live sale for Tuesday this week. No live video, no live crafting for Tuesday, no live sale. And I will see you guys live on Friday. And that will be our, so I'm holding it with my fingers, and that's why I'm going around very gently. But there will be a live crafting on Friday, and that will be the Botanical Field Note Junk Journal class. And so for Friday's video, again, it will be a live. And we will be doing the signature and sewing it in and getting that all prepped. And we might begin adding pockets on Friday. And so that's the next video that we're doing. I'm actually going to cut a little bit of the bottom of this mushroom off. Just a little ferny bits. Just want to position it where I want it. Here we go. And then we'll cut off the excess. So live crafting on Friday, no live at all, no nothing on Tuesday, except for the 365 video if there is one. And I say if because I don't know yet. It depends on what all happens in real life. Okay, so there's two of them started. Let's get this third one done. And I do like the hint, just a hint of book page back there. They're super cute. So that's those. Let's see about this guy. So if we do book page behind this one, we're going to need to, like, you know, position it pretty high up there. We don't have to see it at the bottom. You could just put a small little piece up through here, which maybe we could do that. I'm going to tear around this guy and play with it a little bit. So let's try to keep the top of the dictionary. This is old German dictionary, and I could have overhung that. And let's ink that little bit. So these are just going to go on in pockets more than likely, but I will show you how you can use them as a tuck too. I always show you guys how to use the things at the end of the video Usually I have like a mock journal page and, you know, show you how to use it. Most of you guys, you know, you can figure out that part of it. Do I want it that way? No. You guys can figure out that part of it. I don't know which side I glued at this point, but anyway. But some of you asked me, you know, how do you use it? Because you didn't watch all the way to the end of the video. So I just wanted to put that out there. I mean, I get it. Videos are long sometimes and all that, but the information is usually out there somewhere for you guys. I don't usually just leave you hanging. Okay, so there we go. We've got that book page on, and it was just a matter of positioning it where I wanted it. We're good with that. And this guy is going to go, yep, right in there. Perfect. I like it. I like it a lot. So he's already inked up. We just need to glue him. And for this one, my glue stick has gobs hanging off the edge everywhere. And I've been trying to correct that. This is a newer glue stick, and some of them, you know, it's hot here now. It's already, I mean, today is, you know, I don't know what it is, 80, but it was 95 the other day, 97 actually. And so it's getting hot, and the hotter it is because I'm in Arizona, you know, the glue sticks get softer, especially when they're fresh, like these ones, you know, they're a recent case from Amazon. They get softer. So if you're in a warmer climate, keep that in mind and make sure that you keep your glue sticks somewhere where it is air conditioned, or at least, you know, climate controlled as much as you can. And remember, when you guys, like, you know, you're moving, whatever, putting things away in storage, anything like that, it will melt in storage. So just keep that in mind. You might open up a box and it just has melted glue stick everywhere. So melted glue stick just turns to solid glue whenever it melts and turns solid again. So anyway, they get soft. I like to keep them, obviously my house is air conditioned, but I like to keep them, if I travel, like for trips and stuff, I pack them in my carry-on because I don't know how hot it gets in like baggage, you know, underneath the plane and all that kind of stuff. Something to keep in mind as we get to the warmer weather for those of you that travel for retreats and all of that kind of stuff. You know, all of that glue, it's got to be protected from all kinds of elements, even the cold for the art glitter glue. You've got to protect it from cold because it turns solid if it gets too cold. Okay, so we've done those. We're going to ink this little bit of paper down through here just because, you know, it's got a white edge and we added it later. So we're just going to go through and ink that up. And again, down here, just to complete our little frames. Helps my brain see the, you know, what else we need to do. A lot of people like to stop and ink periodically just so that they can see a better picture of what they need to do. So we're right here. We really just need like labels and a little bit of decoration down here. And then I think we're going to call this good. However, the only thing holding the top part of the ticket together, or the tag together, because it's perforated right through here, is the tops of the mushroom. Like this one's got a pretty wide section, so does this one. But this guy here, I think, I mean, if we're concerned about it, we'll just reinforce back here on the back. So let's go ahead and finish the bottoms of these. What should we use at the bottom? Do we want to add, like, sorry for my reaching, do we want to add like tickets? Like I could see using like this, even the green or the yellow would be cute there. But how would we get that in there? Almost needed layered back here behind them. Okay, well, maybe we use small tickets. Let me see about a small ticket. Labels would be really helpful. Labels are in short supply for me right now. I need to go and print some more. So I'm going to cut off a set of 2 of all of these guys here. And so these are actual scans of these tickets, the vintage tickets. And again, these are in Etsy also. I'm trying to scan you guys a bunch of antique things or vintage things so that we can all have, you know, the same supplies to craft with. Because sometimes it's hard to find vintage things, you know, and sometimes a digital will suffice instead of having to use the original. And so I'm just cutting out both of these together, cutting off the white. And I didn't know if I wanted one or if I wanted the two together. So let's see how these look. This is an orange. It's just a little pink, but this little pinkish red spots up here might make that okay. We could go sideways and just use it as a layering thing, but I don't want to cover up all this at the bottom. So honestly, I'm thinking about just doing one. We could do one at the top. We could do one at the top and fold it over to the back. For writing space, you could do one at the bottom down here. I might put these at the top. And we have this red number here, so you got to be careful with your positioning of what you cover up. Like for this one, this red goes with this mushroom, so I don't want to cover it up. So this one would probably go at the bottom because I can't find a good spot for it up at the top. This guy could definitely go at the bottom. There's plenty of room there. Yeah, because I wouldn't want to cover that one up either. So those two at the bottom. And this guy here, I could put him at the bottom. I'm not sure I want him, or maybe I want one of the other halves. So let's go ahead and cut these. And so if you notice that these tickets have a white circle, that's where they are hole punched. When they're on their rolls, they all have that white circle. And I will show you the easiest way of dealing with that white circle is to take your hole punch. Hopefully I have one in here. I do. To take your hole punch, and you could have punched it before you cut it, but this is just a standard hole punch, and you just hole punch that. And if you really want it to look authentic, make sure that you have a little hole punch on both sides. And so that's how you cut this out. Like you can try with scissors, but sometimes with scissors, it's just cutting a perfectly spherical circle or half circle is very hard to get it to look perfect. So the hole punch is definitely how you cut out the holes in those. And you don't have, you could have done it before you cut them in half, which would have saved us some punching. But anyway, there they are, and those are cut. And then if you leave them together like this, if you have a hole punch that can reach in there and get that, you can punch the whole entire thing. And then just the bottom little nib there. I like to put it and make sure that there is a little bit of a circle on all parts of it. You can see I didn't quite get all of that there. But anyway, that's how that works. Super cute. And then we're going to ink around these quick and stick them on. And I'm going overtime again for something that's just decorating. I guess I've missed you. I'm super chatty now. I was tired for video number 1 today, but I'm a little chatty now. Oh my gosh, guys. You never know what I'm going to do here, do you? Uh, it's an adventure for me too, because most days I come in here, I don't have an exact idea of what I'm doing. Some days, but not always. Probably less than half the time. The rest of the time, it's just us, playing with paper and having fun. And I'm kind of talking to you, guys. It'd be great if I could hear you guys talk as well, but in the future, we'll have something like that. Okay. So let's get these tickets glued on, and then I think, we'll talk about how we can use it as a tuck, and otherwise it'll just go in a pocket. But let's get the, ooh, I thought there was a lid on that. Yep, that was fun. Let's get these glued on. See, I think this one, because it's orange, would look super cute. Maybe you just staple it on as like a loose, if I'm going to stick it in a pocket, though, I don't want to staple, but you could just staple it on as like a loose little ticket. Really anywhere on here, even up here in this corner, you could just staple it on as a loose little ticket. It doesn't have to be glued down completely. Anyway, I think we're just going to glue a couple. Was I going to use this mushroom? I think I was. I think this little, it's like a mushroomy yellow color. I think we were going to stick that. Let's stick that there. We'll do at least one down. Again, my glue stick's super wet. Okay. And so this guy acts as like a little label there. And so he's down at the bottom. We've got some excess glue, but it'll dry. So there's that. And then for this one, I kind of liked it up at the top. I'm going to stick it here. So to use it as a tuck, You can use it from either side on a page. And there's that guy. And then we have options for this one. I think this one would blend in too much. So I think this one is the one. And we're going to stick that down. I like the idea if it's going to be like a floating tag, like you just clipped it in, that you could just leave these tickets stapled on. I think stapling them would be cute. Okay, enough stickiness. This is our journal page. Got the journal page. This long tag can go all the way over here, right? So you could put it right on the page edge, and you would glue it here, and you would glue it here, and then you would have a tuck right here for a journal card. Like if this was a journal card, obviously a bigger one, you would have a tuck right back here. You could also slide it over. I would caution you, don't slide it all the way into the center of your journal. I would leave it out a little bit. It could be a belly band, even looking at it now. These definitely could be belly bands, pretty cute and easy belly bands. And they are exactly the same size as an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper folded in half. So they're perfect belly bands. And for a belly band, you know, it goes through both sides. So you would glue top and bottom, but you could have it slid out just a little bit over here so that it didn't crowd your spine of your journal. And it could also be a pocket this way. You could make a center line of glue and have two pockets here and here, and you could decorate them up individually or the same. You could have something with a large journal card with a tab on it. So many options for the layaway tickets, which are large tags, but I think these came out really cute, and obviously it would be a faster make if you weren't filming a video, but super cute. And again, the mushroom digital is in Etsy, the ticket digital is in Etsy, and we will be using these kinds of things throughout this botanical journal, and the tags were included in your kit. So that's those. Now to reinforce, if you felt like you needed to, all you would do on the back is you could just take a little offcut of paper. I mean, really anything. It could just be the offcut of like the margin of this, and you could glue it through there. But my favorite way to do it is just with a little decorative washi tape, because this is journaling space back here. I mean, there's a place to write here. There's a place to write here. You could fill in whatever you wanted to fill in there, and then just open journaling space. But a little bit of washi tape also would decorate this. So you could clearly add some washi tape. This one still needs inked around the back of it, but that would be the way I would handle it. And then I'm just going to leave these strings hang, but you could add charms to these strings. You could have taken two of these tickets and glued them together and made it little charms on each one of these little strings, because these strings are open. Whole big bunches of ideas here at the end for you guys, but those could have been little charms. So anyway, have fun. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.